Mr. Slide Meteorite. This right here is my review on Creed 3. Like I said it was coming, I told you I was gonna do it. This is my review on Creed 3. Man, what a good movie. This is probably my favorite movie of the Creed franchise. And not my favorite movie of the whole Rocky franchise, but it's one of them. Jonathan Majors definitely the best villain, one of the best villains Creed has ever had, not the best in the whole Rocky series as well. Oh man, him as Damien. Oh man, Jonathan Majors kills it. He's so on point, man. Jonathan Majors has having such a great year, and he kills it. He definitely does kill it as Damien in this film. What I like about this film so much, it's really like Adonis' story. This is strictly Adonis. Not everybody's mad about Sylvester Stallone not being in the movie. His Rocky character not being it, because him and one of the owners of the Rocky franchise who owns the rights to the character, they're at odds. They're beefing with each other and all that because Sylvester Stallone wants to take back control of his character because the character he created and all. Because when the franchise first was built, of course, Sylvester Stallone, he had sold the rights to the character to the guy because in the day you read Sylvester Stallone's story, he was a broke guy just trying to make it in the industry, in the film industry and all that. So he had no money, so of course he had to sell the rights to the character in order for them to film, produce it, and everything like that. So that's how the Rocky franchise became to be what we seem to know it now. But of course now he wants his character back. Of course, since Sylvester Stallone has money and everything like that, he wants his character back. He wants the rights to it. So right now, him and the person that owns the rights, they're beefing right now. That's why Sylvester Stallone said in an interview, said I would do a Creed 4 if me and Michael B. Jordan just do it, but not with the other guy. So that's what he's talking about, the producer, the guy that owns the rights to the character. So that's pretty much why Sylvester Stallone wasn't in this film, because him and that guy, they're having differences on where they want the character to go and everything. So Sylvester Stallone also wants the rights to his character back, pretty much, because the character he created. So that's pretty much why he's just wasn't in this film at all. So that's pretty much the big rundown of it. He just wants the rights back to his character, and he just like the guy that's owned it. He feel like that guy should give it back to him and everything. But like I said, it's how business works. It's the same thing with the film industry, kind of how it is with the music industry. Like, if a label owns you and all that, you have to kind of buy your rights out in order to get back owning your music and your catalog and everything like that in order to get it back. So sometimes they own your music, so you can't really put out music or something like that. Or if you owe a label or something, you can't put out any kind of music at all. So that kind of happens with that in the music industry. Same thing with the film industry. If they own the rights to a character or something you created or something like that, a production company can't give it back to you unless you buy it out or something. That's the only way. So, so that's a rundown of that. But yes, so this film though, even though Rocky's not in it, it doesn't need for Rocky or Sylvester Stallone's character to really be in it. Would like to see him, but you don't really need it in him. This is Adonis' story. You really get that coming of age of his story. Because the first two films, it was kind of like Adonis trying to figure himself out. Like the first one, he was trying to make a name for himself, become Adonis Creed, and end up becoming showing he's this official boxing champion and everything. I mean, can be a great boxer and be a champion. The second one is about him being the champ and having a name for himself and everything. Like about when he fought against Ivan Drago's son, so Victor Drago. So that pretty much that pretty much sets up where we're at now with this one. The third film, he's the champ. He's retired now. This is his story. He's really coming to his own as the leader now. He's the main guy. He runs to a friend of a past named Damien. We find out they keep on doing flashbacks and all that other film about him and Damien when they got called together. I'll give you the full rundown because there's a spoiler review. Because I feel like you haven't seen the film yet now. You're probably not going to see it because today's Tuesday. So pretty much the rundown is him and Damien were hanging out together. Damien just had won this boxing match and everything. And Adonis runs into this guy that used to beat up on him when he was in the juvenile detention center. He used to beat up on him and Damien when they're in the juvenile detention center. So he sees him at this gas station. Adonis just starts swinging, beating the dude down and punching him. Then some of his boys come to jump in, and Damien pulls out a gun. So when they're the police are they're finna get him and everything like that, Adonis just runs off, runs away, and Damien gets arrested, and that's how he ends up locked up for 18 years, pretty much gone away for 18 years. So that's where the beef kind of comes from, because we found out too as well Damien sent him letters and everything like that, but his mom kept him away from him because she didn't want him anything to do or hanging out with Damien, so she kept him away from him, so he didn't find out till later on, okay, Damien did wrote him letters and all that. He just didn't know, but Damien felt abandoned, felt like he abandoned him and turned his back on him and everything. So That's where the beef kind of stems up and emulates to where it gets at, where we see in this film. Also, also as well as Damien feels like, oh, he wants a title shot. Like, can you give me a title shot? Can you give me a fight? Because he said that's what Apollo did for Rocky. Hey, can you do the same thing for me? He tells Adonis that, and Adonis is like, like, oh, I don't know and everything like that. Which I understand what the film is trying to do, but you could have been like, even though, because in real life that's not gonna happen. Somebody just come out of prison doing 18 years, they're not gonna automatically just get a title shot or anything like that and all that, or even a fight period and all that. But I'm like, even with that, Adonis could have given him some mid-card fights, some kind of fights to get his rank up or something like that. It's not like he couldn't give him a title shot altogether, even though he's older. Like I said, he's older than him and all. But I feel like maybe he could have done more for him a little bit, maybe gave him a title shot, something like that. But he doesn't. So what ends up happening is the fight between Victor Drago and Ivan. The Victor fight between Victor Drago and oh my goodness, I can't believe I get the other character's name that was in the movie. The guy he was fighting. Oh, let me. Felix, I forgot, yeah. With Felix, yeah. So the fight with Victor and Felix is supposed to happen and everything. And so it's finna happen, but Victor gets jumped at a record label party that Adonis, along with Tessa Thompson's character, Bianca, I want to use her name, actual name, along with a fight with Adonis and Bianca have invited him to, invited Damien as well too, because it's for her. She writes music now. Pretty much have other artists sing her songs and everything, and all that. So Adonis and Bianca invite Damien out to the party and everything like that, along with Victor and Felix are both there. But at the fight, Victor gets jumped by these couple of guys and ends up breaking his hand. So with Victor's hand broken, there's not a fight gonna happen. They're trying to look for somebody who can fight, who can fill the void in, everything, and all. And Adonis pretty much says, "Oh, how about Damien and all that?" And Wood Heritage character is like, "Nah, man, nah. Just like, I don't know about that. Nah, don't do this. He warns him about Damien. Tony, I'm gonna go. Tony warns Damien like, man. Tony warns him said, Damien, man, Damien's find the world. Don't do it with Damien and everything." And Adonis go ahead and give him a shot because he feels like that's his boy. He owes him, so he go ahead and give him a shot. And of course, he ends up beating Felix, as we see kind of in the trailer. He ends up beating up Felix real bad that pretty much sent him to the hospital and all that, almost killed him. He beats him up so bad. But later on in the film, we do find out with Adonis' mom, Mary Ann Creed, she says to him she shows him like a picture of Damien with one of the guys that beat up Victor in a prison photo, and shows like, oh, so pretty much, Damien pretty much paid the guy off to beat up Victor Drago so he can get a title shot and everything. Adonis finds that out, then they get into it and all that, and a real big square down happens, and Damien just tells him about, hey, it's my time, I'm the champ, pretty much ends up punching him in the face and all that, knocking him down and all. So, so Damien feels like he's living a good life as the new champ and all. Later on in the film, of course, this happens too as well. I kind of was, but I was shocked about this. Mary Ann Creed does die in the film. Her, Felicia Rashad's character does pass away in this film. That kind of does make sense. They kind of were hinting at when they said, oh, she did have a stroke and everything like that, hinting at, like, oh, what I'm saying, that she could be, real sick and everything. And she does. She ends up passing away and, making peace. Adonis does make a peace with her because at first she had a beef with him, was very mad. Adonis was very mad at her for hiding the pictures, behind the letters and stuff Damien sent her. She felt mad because she felt like, hey, Damien treated me more like a brother than your own kids did. And they finally addressed Apollo's other kids. Because I'm correcting the film, I'm thinking about seeing the Rocket series. Apollo did have 2 other kids, which he did and all that. He had 2 other kids before, Of course, way before Adonis came in the picture with him and Mary Ann, they had 2 other kids together. That's the first time, of course, they addressed it all in all the films about his other 2 children and all that. But Adonis was never accepted by them because you know how it goes. Like, they had the same daddy, but didn't have the same mama. So it's not like, he was there. He was their half brother. He wasn't their by a lot straight brother. He was just their half brother. So he always said Damien treated him more like a big brother and all that than your own two kids did. So and all that. But they end up making peace when she ends up in the hospital bed and tells her he loves her, tells her he's sorry about everything. So, they're very, very kind of like, very, very little emotional part and sad part of the film since Felicia Rashad's character been with us since the first film and everything. How she took Adonis in and everything like that and treated him like he was her own, pretty much. So, and all. Now flash forward, we get to Adonis' side. He's gonna get back in the ring and start fighting and everything. And like I said, I admit the one thing I think people don't like about this film, the training montage probably wasn't good as the Rocky franchise montage was, but that's only my pick with the movie. That's the only thing my pick with it. It's like, yeah, the training montage probably wasn't as good as the original Rocky was, but it still was good. He was telling with Tony telling him, we're gonna use your weakness as your strength at the same time. So I did love the back and forth between those two though. In the beginning part when it was on ESPN First Take with Stephen A. Smith when Damien's talking smack to Adonis and all. So, like I said, very fun and very built up to the fight. Cause like I said, it is personal how Damien feels, why he feels he got to take him down. It becomes personal. And then boom, we get to the fight. I'm skipping a little bit of parts. I'm getting to the main parts in this film. Then boom, we get to the fight. Man, the fight scene between Damien and Adonis, boy, was that epic. So good. Especially that one scene where they're fighting it's like in a cage, because Michael B. Jordan did say he's a big anime fan. So it's like he pretty much feels like, he made it like an anime scene, kind of like the way, because that means I feel like this is going to be starting something new now. He started a trend where a lot of directors might try this when boxing movies like that, make it like a scene where it's like that. It has to be done right though. Everybody make sure you do it, you're going to do it right though. Because he really getting with that scene to have do it like they're in a cage just fighting with just them together and everything. But that scene was so epic. That scene was so good. Oh man, I really enjoyed it. Was entertained by that scene. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That part right there. There wasn't a final boxing scene, but that scene with just them that one round when they're just fighting in the cage together made it look like, man, it was good. It was good. It was good. Don't want to drag too long ago, but it was just so good and all that. But then the final battle started, and Tony, tells him line that tells him, let you boxing, that tells him like you seen in the previews. You boxing out there, I need you to start fighting. Let go of the guilt, let go of whatever it was, and walk into what it is. Like stop feeling bad, feeling guilty about what happened between him and Damien, about that's your boy and all that. You feel guilty for leaving him hanging and everything like that. You gotta go out there and start fighting and start taking him down. And that's what he did, of course, box him and beat him down and everything. And of course Adonis wins the fight and all and everything like that. And in the end, Damien tells him, even jokes him saying, I guess you learned some more moves than what I taught you and everything. And all. But Damien tells him, hey, we were just kids. We both were just young then and all that. Damien forgives him because Damien, at the end of the day, was his boy. That was like his big homie and all. Everybody knows about that. That was just like his big brother. They were really homies and all that. He was just upset and, of course, felt abandoned by, him not being there for him and felt like, hey, I'm supposed to be in this spot. This is supposed to be me. I'm supposed to be doing this. That's pretty much how he felt. Pretty much he was supposed to be in that position and all that. He felt like he just was just like Adonis and all that. The way fighting and all that. Of course, Damien called a little more dirtier fighter, but he just felt like he should have been in that position as well, along with Adonis. But, the end of the day, he shows that he truly always was his homeboy and everything. He was just hurt and upset and felt abandoned by him. So, good, like I said, good into the scene. Then the end scene, we see him, Bianca, along with his daughter. They're both, of course, his daughter actually is deaf in the movie as well. She's deaf, so, that plays a part of a lot of stuff. And she wants to be a boxer as well. So, that they see it's like a good, family moment with them three together and all. As Adonis walking away as a champ. So, like I said, good, solid film. I would love for them to bring Jonathan Majors' character back. I really did like his character. And even the film, you kind of, like I said, you feel sympathetic for him. You kind of feel sorry for him a little bit. You understand his anger, his rage, like I said, where it comes from. And you really feel like in the day, his character really did like, Adonis. They really were homeboys. He really was a true friend of his. That's why he said to him, hey, we were just kids back then. We both made mistakes, So, but I really do hope we might see him in a Creed 4 or something like that, one of the spinoffs. I heard they said they were supposed to be doing like a Victor Drago spinoff, so maybe that can happen and all. And Michael B. Jordan did say about a Creed 4. And like I said, the movie just grossed really big numbers. I think the highest grossing movie out of all the Rocky franchise, one of the highest, not the highest, one of the highest movies out of all the Rocky franchises. So I'm pretty sure Creed 4 is coming. If they do, I can't wait to see it. But this film is good. Everything, you're a boxing fan, definitely should go see it. If you're a fan of the Rocky franchise, you go see it. And you're a fan of the Creed franchise, you go see this movie. This is probably one of my favorite movies that came out this year. Definitely one of my favorites. I can't say it's movie of the year because we're only in March of 2023. But straight up, this movie is everything what the trailer showed me and all that. Since I saw the trailer last year, I've been wanting to go see this movie. I couldn't wait. When I finally was able to see it, I was so excited. And I was not disappointed. I love this movie. Definitely one of my favorites so far this year, man. Creed 3, definitely go see it, man. Like I said, Jonathan Majors, he's on a roll this year. And Michael B. Jordan, like he's going to be one of them new actor directors that's really going to be doing something good. So, I love the movie and I enjoyed it, man. If you haven't seen Creed 3, please check it out. Once again, if you like the content, please don't hesitate to hit like, subscribe button to Sly Media. Y'all have a good day. Next video I'm probably going to do, I might talk about the Chris Rock thing. Chris Rock has finally answered back about Will Smith, the whole slap in this stand-up comedy special. I'm going to probably talk about that because I see a lot of people talking about that. So I'm going to have my take on that and talk about that as well. So y'all have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Be beautiful. I'm out. Sly Media.